Well, that brings us to our insight of the week.
What do we got?
This one is kind of inspired by an exercise you made me do. So this week, I bring to us the best way to predict the future is to create it. I think that if I had to pick like a statement of facts about my personality, it would be 100% that. So you recently encouraged me to do astrological mapping. And so I went to Claude and without much intention gave it both mine and my husband's information. I mean, it was like everything. And in doing so, Claude gave me some output and honestly, I like dropped it on the web to look at it and I never looked at it. And so Taylor and I were sitting down to work on our app on Cope 365. And I opened my machine and there's like this weird website that's like Taylor and Crimson astrological mapping. And Taylor's like, what the hell is that? And I was like, oh, Lori had me go through this exercise and I haven't read it. Like, because honestly, what if it says we're incompatible? And so
What?
what it
I
was,
love this like exercise. I have no idea what you're talking about.
well, you told me that you put in your birthday and time of day and location, and it gives you an astrological mapping of who you are. And so
You can
I
put that information into chat. Yeah. But like to be fair, just because I want to give credit where credit's due, I actually had an astrologer do that like a couple years ago. So I know all my stuff to make sure it's correct because ChatGPT, I don't necessarily trust it to be able to read all that accurately. So I want to say that because I don't know what the outcome of this would be. So what was it?
interesting. Oh, I mean, I have a whole website dedicated to it. Yeah, it did me, then it did Taylor, then it did Taylor and I. Taylor sees it, and I'm like, oh, let's look at it. That's funny. I haven't looked at it. Taylor was freaking out because it pegged us to the T. I mean, it was absurd. It was absolutely absurd. And I use Claude because Claude doesn't know me. Chat kind of knows me, but Claude, I've had a wall up. We just work together. Like we don't talk. And it nailed Taylor and I. So Taylor just decided everything's predetermined. And like, why do anything? Just float through the earth. Like, there's no reason to do anything because everything's predetermined. And so I thought this quote was hilarious because I absolutely do not believe that in any sense of the word. I think you build the future that you want. Everything about my personality is like you show up, you do the work. Things aren't handed to you. Democracy doesn't just live. Everything I do is that you create the future in the world that you want. And so I love this insight because I live and die by it, but I think it's hilarious because I thought my husband did too, but I think he's getting off that ship. I think he's just going like let the astrologers tell me what to do today, whereas I'm sticking with we can create our futures by the work. So, I guess the ultimate takeaway that I took from this quote is we don't spend our time trying to predict the future. We spend our time creating our future. Are you inspired, Lori?
Oh, very inspired. First of all, astrology is not really predictive. It's more like an energetic weather report. So you still have to do the work. You still got
Right.
to show up. But it just talks about like the influences that may be more opaque in our life. So, with that being said, I do believe, my job is to help people have a better relationship with their mental health. I want to do that because I feel like that's the most empowering thing you can do for yourself. And it does predict future success. The better relationship you have with yourself, the better your life is going to be. I saw a really great TikTok yesterday where it was like a lot of people are stuck in this place of like, why won't this person change? Or why won't they do this for me? Or why won't they be this? Or whatever it is. And the whole TikTok was about if you're asking these questions, you're basically neglecting your needs. And if you're neglecting your needs, then you're not going to be able to receive from anybody else and vice versa. And they talked about how like we get ourselves into these relationship dynamics with other people who are neglecting their needs. And then it just becomes like, I'm pointing at you, you're pointing at me, we're saying that each other is wrong, and we miss the whole opportunity and point in looking at what is our unhealed toxic behaviors that are contributing to us staying stuck in whatever this dynamic is. And this is where I think that we really do have so much power to predict the future in that we can decide where our attention goes. And that's where energy flows, right? I don't think everything is predetermined. I think that we have agency in how we navigate those things. So I like the
Absolutely.
empowerment of this quote.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great one. I mean, at the end of the day, it just is a reminder that each day is a new day to direct our path.
It's
And
true.
that's why we need to own the day, seize the moment, all of those cheesy,
Jeez.
cliche signs, because it is, we have to create the future we want, period.
Absolutely.
And I'm inspired by that, not scared by it.
Yeah. Taylor is not going to be able to stick too long in that predetermined world. It gets old fast.
Yeah, I know. He's probably already over it. It was fun.
Everybody has their own takes on it. But I do think I have found, since like incorporating like more of kind of the moment astrological kind of like, this is what the vibe is going to be today or this week or this month, it has helped me take things less personally, you know? And I also do use it in my clinical work. It's a small thing, but if there's themes, if there's patterns and stuff, I'll bring them up and I'll say, you don't have to believe this or even think about it again. But there are vibes going on that may be influencing how you're feeling or how the people around you may be feeling. And again, it's not saying that that's absolutely true or it's predictive of anything, just something to keep in mind.